yeah, there's so many interesting technologies coming at me now, and I can't wait until we kind of get out of this phase that we're in, this lockdown phase, and we see some of the new developments, ideas and concepts that people have come up with whilst, they had nothing better to do whilst in lockdown.
That's right. I think what we're experiencing, we're watching, I think, high-speed evolution of virtual conferences and meetings, along with many other things. And it's interesting, your observation that you're not chasing the shiny new toys. You want to make sure they work well before you actually leap in and use them. You want to make sure that you're using the right people that actually have got the expertise to teach and train as well. So what do you see as a future for virtual meetings?
Yeah, I think as we come out of this, the world's changed forever. So there's people that would never have considered a virtual meeting before. I know that there's corporations right now and friends of mine whose bosses said, no, you cannot work from home. It's just something that I'm not considering for whatever their reasons may be. And now they've been forced to try it, try working from home, try these virtual meetings. People who were running offline conferences are now being forced to try virtual conferences and virtual events. And they're seeing that it may be a little bit better. And why do I say maybe it's better? Okay, there are some positives and negatives on both sides. So if you've got an in-person event, you get to shake the person's hand. You get to have that interaction, that physical maybe contact that you wouldn't necessarily have at a virtual event. But let's just talk about the virtual events, because that's what I'm really an expert at. When you're meeting someone at these virtual events, before you walk up to them at the bar or walk over to that group and introduce yourself, you can actually look at their online profile and decide, is that the group or is that person someone that I want to talk with? So what you want to be doing now is really looking through the list of attendees at the event. And because you're virtual, you can see them all and you can identify, okay, here's prospective customers. Here's prospective partners, suppliers, or investors, and just go with a purpose at these events specifically to the people who are going to impact you and your business. I mean, most of the time, the reasons why you go to these networking events is because you want to meet people who you can build and develop relationships with, business relationships to grow your business. And virtual just makes that so much easier, right? Because you can identify who you spend your time with, who you go and speak with. So I think in that respect, it's a lot better. It's not so much of a time waster. And that's where I see maybe virtual events going in the future, is that people are going to decide, okay, do I do an in-person event or a virtual event? We can scale these virtual events. We're not locked into the size of a physical room. This physical room, we can get maybe 1,000 people, 30,000. We have to rent that stadium down the road, but virtually we can get 30,000, no problem, 100,000. Like even some of the tech where you can do these networking and virtual events together with over 1 million people, which is just incredible. So at really low costs. And with all those people that are coming through, they can all be tracked, every single one of their interactions. So you understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, and serve them content and information that's going to be helpful and useful for them so they get a better experience at that event. And you can actually take that data away post-event too and look through all that data to, again, help and support those attendees post-event, but also help use that information to help you improve your future events. And so all those data points that you get access to with a virtual event, you just don't get or you don't know with the in-person conferences. So I see many more corporations, small business owners, people who just want to bring a community together that are doing maybe these in-person events will consider doing both an in-person event and a virtual event. Or if they're looking to build a global community, they can look to opt for just doing a virtual event, whereas prior to this, they may never have considered it.
Right. I think you've really raised some valid, very important points.